Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to Total War Warhammer 3, where unfortunately our offensive here in the desert has turned into kind of a two-front nightmare, and I'm not sure how we're going to wiggle out of it. So what I would ordinarily want to do in a situation like this is just apply pressure as hard as possible and break down the rest of the Chevalier faction, because without the buildings that they built in their starting settlements, they probably can't recruit their high-tier units anymore. All the stuff that they hold now is stuff they took on their last offensive. So yeah, you can see here, they have like the basic version of a siege building. They have one other recruitment building. Their stuff is limited to tier 3. So this is a moment where we can press on them and they can't really press back. The ideal moment to really push our advantage. But both of these armies... Yeah, both of these armies can get to Alhaik on the next turn. And while Alhaik does have proper defenses, it's just a lot of... Yeah. It's just a lot of violence coming our way. So... I don't think Alhaik is going to stand up to both these armies at the same time. I think we have to turn around and defend it.
Do not betray your king.
This is... Well, this is interesting, actually. So they have actually quite a lot of units that can't engage in wall combat. What I mean by that is, like, chariots and horsemen and stuff are not useful in a battle on a walled city until you can get a breach in the wall somewhere. They have a unit of Ushabti with great bows. These are basically, they're like big living obsidian statues, essentially carrying a ballista around. So they can definitely do some damage to a wall, maybe eventually break through it. But I'm wondering, do we know what's in the second army? We don't. We have no idea. I'm wondering, would they be able to handle a siege battle? Maybe if we brought back one army, we could just take them at Alhaik. You can't get there even in march mode. Aranessa can, however. She could reach King Baufra. She can't just... I would try to one-on-one this army in the desert if we could catch them. I wonder. Maybe the move is we just go back into Alhaik and play defense. My biggest concern about that is that if they just siege us, then we end up having to ride out and fight them on the field. But it'll happen after we've taken a little bit of siege damage, and we might be better off just standing outside of Alhaik in the first place and fighting them in the field. Their army is... It's a lot of Tomb Guard. So you can see here, 42 attack, 58 defense, with these are the mid-tier shields, right? Yeah, 55% block. These are actually pretty solid units, and they have a lot of them. They have some skeleton units, which are a lot worse. Obviously, the archers are archers. They have some chariots, which are not fantastic, but they are fast-moving, and they do have a pretty good charge bonus and anti-infantry. So if they could get into our range, it would be a problem. Then they have a bunch of these, like, these big stone snake units, which I actually am kind of worried about. 66 or 50 speed. So pretty good at catching up with us. The stalkers here, these 3 units of stalkers have their own ranged weapons, while this thing is purely like a charging cavalry unit, but heavily armored. It's got a shield. I'm a little worried about whether I think we would win a field battle. Probably we would win the field battle 1v, like if we just go army versus army here. What is in the garrison at Alhaik? Okay, a mortar, 4 units of rifles, 3 units of hand cannons, which again are basically like sort of video game shotguns, and then all of these units of zombie pirate deckhands, which as you can see are just They're just awful. They're just the worst units. 15 armor, 14 attack, 20 defense. The halberd units, I'm not allowed to click on and get their thing to stick. They at least have a bonus versus large. And I think it's a pretty big bonus versus large, but even so, it only gets their attack into like the 30s. They're still bad. They're still bad units for sure.
Yes, the winds blow true.
The battle on the walls is better, for sure. Than the field battle. The problem is that for the moment, there isn't actually a good reason for them to engage in the battle on the walls. They might just siege up and make us come out and fight them on the field anyway. Can I, do I have enough movement? Let's get out of here so I can swap into ambush mode.
Trap is set.
In ambush mode, I could just barely get into reinforcement range of Alhaik. Oof, ambush success chance is only 40% over here, and there's nothing we can really do about that. Does she have full lightning strike yet? She does. Okay. So, one thing we could do
There's treasure. I can smell it.
is we could just hang out nearby. We could like hang out in Martech or outside of Martech in ambush mode. Hope that they don't see us. And then ride up on whichever one of them we think we're going to get a better 1v1 against. Break them. And then... yeah, that's probably the plan. Because Pete really needs to keep up the pressure. We need to keep pushing. Pete, just go ahead and claim Lashiek. This should be no problem. Gets us another port, which is always valuable. Gets Pete another level, which is pretty great. Pete will be able to take a proper office in our fleet officers system at level 5. That's the thing I'm very much looking forward to. Right now, what we know is Tide Call, which is basically just like a splash attack. Better, honestly, it does so little damage. It's better for just knocking guys down than it is for harming them. And Spiteful Shot, which dramatically improves the accuracy of shooting units for a little while, which is necessary because our shooting units are really bad at accuracy. The passive casting bonus for this school does 6 to 12 damage per second for 4 seconds to every enemy body on the field every time you cast. It's a very small amount of damage. It's much better against units that have to field a lot of very low tier bodies, like units that have a lot of crummy stuff in them, like skeletons or goblins. It's somewhat less compelling against Bretonia, I think. So we're probably not going to be in a hurry to take that. I think let's grab Denizens of the Deep, probably. This one summons free crabs, free extra units. I do love to outnumber the enemy where possible.
Ship and crew are ready.
So right now, the enemy only has one actual army. 3 units of trebuchets, a little scary. 3 units of proper knights. And some battle pilgrims. This is not a bad force. Does Vulture Mountain have... okay, Vulture Mountain has recruitment buildings. That's a thing we're going to have to fix. Ugh, yeah, we got to take that out. All right. There's a lot going on here.
Pirate Queen.
Can we remove this hero? It would be really nice if there wasn't an extra set of eyes on Aranessa. Okay, cool. Great. Every unit that can see, every unit and army that can see your ambush, or your army in ambush mode, has an opportunity to break the ambush. Wait, what if they don't siege it? What if they go in and they just attack on this turn? Do I think that would be... we don't have any idea. Oh, now we do know what's in this army. I guess this was all the distance Len needed to figure that shit out. So this army is Again, a lot of Tomb Guard, very good units. Some archers, a lot of chariots. A Tomb Scorpion, a terrifying anti-infantry monster. A bunch of Ushabti, not the kind with the bows, just the kind with the great big weapons. And their own catapults. So these two forces together, I think, have a much better chance against... Yeah, shit, they're just going to attack this turn, aren't they? Well, then, I guess the only thing to do is to go Aranessa plus the garrison against them both, and maybe we end up having to pull Pete back? Is it better to crouch in ambush mode outside the city and accept the siege battle right away? Or accept the field battle right away? I'm honestly really torn here. This is a dangerous position. And like Alhaik is the only one of these cities that has any defenses. If this falls, they're going to take everything. So we really have to blunt their attack now. We're never going to have a better opportunity.
Move!
Yeah, she's inside the circle. So if they see through the ambush and they attack her directly, Alhaik's garrison will show up as reinforcements, or vice versa. There's a chance, if the ambush actually holds, there's a chance that we get a proper ambush battle against King Neferkara as he runs up to the city. But I wouldn't expect it. And we just end up in this huge field battle. This like 37 v 39 field battle where they have vastly superior units, but we have all the guns. That might work out in our favor. I don't think they win.
Pirate's life!
I'm not confident enough. I don't think they win the siege battle if we're actually in the settlement. And Pete can make a run for defense? Yeah, maybe. Do these armies have any units in them? They don't. So Len would not be able to affect their strength anyway. It will have to be Pete who comes to the rescue. Oof. Y'all, I do not love this. Technically, we can throw money at upgrades for her. I am not confident at all that she is going to actually be allowed to build anything. And this gives no benefit aside from, yeah, I'm just not going to spend the money.
Sartosa's most infamous.
All right. So the Curse of the Sea Mist is a little bit too expensive for us. That's a shame. A little bit of Cursed Mist attrition in our regions and the ability to deploy our units closer to theirs is maybe interesting. Honestly, I don't know that we would want to deploy our units closer to theirs, though. I think the main benefit we have here is being able to shoot at them while they're approaching. So let's see if they go for the siege. It's also possible that the improved numbers will just be a discouragement. But we may have to like give up pressing on Rapunzel. This is such a badly timed attack for our purposes. From our perspective, this is a real nightmare. It's good strategy for the Khemri, provided that the thing the Khemri were trying to do was help the Bretonnians survive. Oh, they have another army. Well, that's fun. All right, we might be able to take advantage of... they're making movements here that they feel are safe because of reinforcements. We may be able to take advantage of our lightning strike to pick off the outliers and lower their strength a little bit this way, at least. Yep, can't really do anything about that. Chose not to take it, just sacked it and ran off. Interesting. So there's a version of this where we have to pull Pete to provide reinforcements. What I would really love is if we could use Pete to demolish Vulture Mountain. The sight of wrecked ships is nothing new for a seasoned pirate, but this particular one heralds a welcome surprise. Packed to the keel with brand new weapons, armor, and gunpowder, this ship's cargo hold is several times the size of our own. However, some supplies will have to be left behind. What do we loot? Well, that's not going to be it. 20% range and also a reload time reduction? Hell yeah. Fill him with lead. 10 turns of that buff. I don't care about Morgar. That's stuff happening on the North Continent. Yeah, the Eye of the Panther was sacked. Ooh. The Curse of the Queen's Cannon. Is Queen Bess... Am I allowed to have multiple Queen Besses at a time?
Pirate Queen!
No, Queen Bess is a... what do you call it? Is a regiment of renown. So there will only be one available simultaneously, but she'll be in the cannon will be in the recruitment pool if we lose it. I think we can just ignore that for the moment. So here's what I'm thinking. We can run out, snatch this army with lightning strike, and then just bail before they're able to bring all of these forces to bear. And we can make it back to Alhaik, no problem.
They shall pay!
And they're in march mode, so they can't even back off. They just got caught. It says close victory. I wonder if I should do this manually. We probably need to limit the amount of I stay a little nervous that the reinforcements were no longer grayed out. Yeah, I probably need to minimize losses here. So we should be able to handle this. We should be able to handle this. Remember, Aranessa herself has a very significant bonus versus large. So that'll help with the Ushabti here. But also, I'm particularly concerned about the Necrosphinx. This thing is an absolute terror for a lot of compositions to deal with. The good news about these giant stone monsters is that they get most of their survival just from raw armor. They move kind of slowly for big monster units, and the idea is they're supposed to just be so tough that they can wade into combat and take it. But armor is largely ineffective against gun. Rifles pierce armor with most of their damage. So I think what we're going to do, we have a nice big hill here. Yeah, what we can do is just sit on this dune. What's the range on their catapult? It's got to be less than the Queen Bess, right? 380s. That's the same as our mortars. So where does that range end? Okay. Like way over here. If I put the queen right behind where I've got the gunners now, yeah, I can almost hit stuff. Well, I don't want to almost hit stuff, so let's maybe step it up a little bit. Maybe even a little bit more. Yeah, I think that's fine. And then the mortars can go nearby and slightly to the side. We can put the deck gunners kind of near that stuff. And then I guess the rifles end up going in front of that. Is that pretty... Yeah, that should be fine. We have a slope, and there's pretty much just flat ground in front of it. The thing is, I don't want to put anything too far forward and make it passable for the Screaming Skull catapults to pick it off. It might actually be smart to keep the rifles back here for the beginning of the battle. Maybe stretch them out a little bit more. You definitely just kind of stand in here. I mean, I guess you can just be in front. That's fine. And then we definitely don't want to put ourselves any closer to the enemies than the default distance. All right, Aranessa can hang out here. I don't know what we're going to do with our deck droppers. So this is the first battle, I think, that we're fighting with the handgun deck droppers, the rifle ones. They're a little tricky because they don't quite have the range of the real rifles. They have a low body count, and they still have that accuracy problem. And also, they will get shredded even just by, like, archers. Because there's such a small number of them. But individually, they're so big, and they're basically unarmored. Alright, so the Queen Bess should be sending projectiles along any moment now. There we go. And we have our fully upgraded cannon systems here. Let's see where that lands. Alright. Question. Do we want to try to destroy the siege units with these, or would I rather just mow down a ton of tomb guards? This does... They do kind of the same amount of damage. This one additionally reduces enemy leadership. Let's put this one into the Tomb Guard, particularly. Well, we don't really need to particularly shoot the halberds, but let's just put this into the Tomb Guard. 3 seconds. That might not be the right lead. It wasn't bad. These ones we'll try to deal with the catapults. I'm not as worried about damaging the crew as I am about actually breaking the catapult itself. Oh, I don't know what you're... Yeah, the catapults, please. There we go. Direct hit from the Queen Bess. And they still got some time marching here, like... Please just burn down. Aw. Alright, got some decent shooting from the deck gunners there. Just keeping them honest. I can't believe that thing's still standing. They actually are pretty low on morale. At this point, it might make sense to just hit them with the next cannon, hit the crew with the next cannon blast and see if we can break them. Now keep in mind, these are undead enemies, so when they get low, they go into the crumbling stance rather than running away. That's an archery, chariot right there. They probably won't charge us. They'll probably just stay in gun range and get gunned at. They have the chariot of their lord here, charging us real fast. Guard mode, please. Do not chase. I'm gonna roll out and throw a net over that dude so he doesn't get any closer. And I think a normal, the weaker cannon shot will probably handle this. Well, maybe not quite. All right. We can only have one cannon shot going at once, if you're wondering why I'm doing it like this and staggering them. Yep, net's pretty effective. Okay, they're in the crumbling state. Let's start belching the old Norse fire. Kind of aim it like this. And at this point, they don't have much in the way of range remaining, but I still feel a little unsafe. You know what? Bats, you can do this. You can help us out with this. That chariot's just not, it's not going to get anything accomplished. All right. buff up the enemy, all of our allied units. We do probably have to kill this thing in a real hurry. You know what? Honestly, let me unselect the ability. There we go. Focus up on these chariots. Nothing else is moving terribly quickly. Do kind of want her just hang back. Let's throw grenades at these halberd troops. This is basically like the only thing that poses even kind of a threat to Aranessa. And I think over here we can start sort of folding these units around. Right, because it looks like they're going to get ignored. Okay. And it probably doesn't take, you know, two of you can probably just disengage on this front as well. Y'all, melee mode, just stay on them. The bats will provide cover. Okay.
With pleasure. Morning action.
All right, she got the attention of just enough of the chariots. All right, let's try to have basically everybody show that Sphinx who is the boss, canonically. The Queen Bess can probably actually start focusing on these archers, because that's the thing that's going to deal the most damage to us next. I'm going to put y'all in melee mode. Just execute a charge. We don't really need you to do anything else. Just get over here and cut. Cut, 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 cut. Knife around. All right, apparently this isn't going to work out the way I wanted. They decided they're going to be, they're going to pick which unit they're focused on. Fair enough.
Out. A proper fight.
Speed up. All right, Ironess is doing good damage there as well. I think he's a good fighter. It did some serious damage to her very quickly, but it's just very difficult to stand up to that volume of rifle fire. All right, so they were going to bring that in as an additional stack of reinforcements. We don't have to put up with that shit. A lightning strike battle, and then we've disappeared into the dunes before our enemies even knew what hit them. Unfortunately, that doesn't really solve the problem. It just prevents it from getting any worse, because they still have the two armies left that I was worried about last time. And we are in the same position. I don't know. I think I am going to put up the mist thing. We should have the money now. And I know it's a lot of money relative to what we make anymore. I'm like putting off a lot of improvements by doing it. But it is also going to make it way less attractive to just run at me. And in particular, it'll make it kind of awkward for the Bretonnian units to take their stuff back. We could heal some of our units. I think we gotta take the money. That's actually a lot of money. You know, they have a lot of stuff that's like made of gold. Did we steal another obsidian lodestone? Why would I?
Empty the brick.
Why would I want that?
Aranessa salt spite.
Oh,
No
this is
chance.
an annoying bug. So sometimes when you attack an army, it like moves you forward after the battle. We're inside the zone of control of the city now. And unfortunately, I'm trying to figure out what I want to do with her skill points. 8% HP is meaningful for sure. I might want to just grab some redline stuff and improve the strength of this army. She could gain the ability to strip the defense from an enemy unit It's a, you know what? It's a considerable speed debuff as well, actually. Minus 25% speed that you can apply from 100 meters is actually something. And then Hornswoggle is an improved version. Is that, how improved is that? 24, 30, 100 meters, 17-second duration. Okay, it nearly doubles the duration. That's pretty cool. But she's already a good enough fighter that I don't think we need that stuff. I'm going to work on her red line. So this first skill, Inspiring Presence, just giving the units in the army a little bit of an XP gain thing, and also improves the strength of her leadership effect. But this is the good stuff here. What we're into now, the unit buff skills. So here we go. Reanimated Marksman. We can get ammunition and missile strength up for our zombie gunnery mobs. Actually, not really all that big of a deal. I don't know if we want that. What else do we get? Missile strength ammunition up for the Queen Bess. I don't like the fact that the Queen Bess is not pictured in the following units thing, but it does say in the tooltip quite explicitly. This gives bonuses to your biggest and most monstrous units, physical resist and melee resist. That's cool. Melee attack and missile strength for deck droppers. This is the melee monster skill. All right. I think we're going to take Reanimated Marksman. This is such a small bonus. It is a shame. But there's some good stuff later on in the tree. We want to get through this. So in order to get out of this first box, we have to spend 6 skill points. And when we do, we'll get an ability that can buff up the effectiveness of melee troops around Aranessa. You get 2 skill points with which you can grab. So the first level is the blunderbuss ammunition, which just it does his shot, sort of a shotgun, but it reduces his range. Level 2, it's less of a range reduction. Level 3, the range reduction falls off entirely. I mean, that's not bad. Yeah, you know what? I think I want that, actually. And then with the second skill thing, we can replace his weak bomb throw with a firebomb with a powerful explosion. That's definitely worth doing. So,
Queen of Tides!
you can't move inside of a thing's zone of control except to issue an attack order.
Attack!
So in order to get out, we have to attack and then
Back to the siege!
break the siege. And breaking siege shoves you back
Ready to swordfish!
just enough to be outside. But that's really annoying because it eats a whole lot of our movement range.
We'll bury the spoils here.
All right, we can make it back to Alhaik where we will... Yeah, we'll hit full replenishment in a single turn. And then we can figure stuff out afterward.
Do not betray your king.
It looks like King Baufra was able to... Oh, wait, sorry. This is the one who already had a full army.
My faith in you wanes.
This one grabbed some extra units and filled out, so they're both 20s now.
Admiral of the fleet.
And part of me wants to bring Pete Wakefield home, but another part of me
Do you take me for a churl?
wants to have Pete Wakefield press Vulture Mountain.
Yes.
I can kind of split the difference and go to Martek, and then at least Chestion knows that we will drive him back if he attacks. Where's the end of Lashiek territory? Is it the river? Nope, on this side it's still Lashiek.
I'll order it.
Gosh, where is the line? So you can see here's the green line on this side. And somewhere this becomes the Caliph's palace. I'm trying to figure out exactly where the mist goes to if we fire the mist thing. Oh, there it is, very faintly. Okay. So this whole area would fill with mist. I do kind of like that. Causing attrition to foreign armies. It would let us deploy some of our units closer to the enemy, but not in a way that we can actually take advantage of. Actually, Pete's army would be able to take advantage of it. Pete being able to deploy his rotting Prometheans forward is actually kind of interesting.
Blood kiss of the stars.
All right, and then maybe maybe with Pete,
Get moving.
I'm gonna get aggressive here. We'll see if this turns out to be a mistake.
We'll intercept.
We're gonna do our best to be stealthy.
Rajon.
And this is not actually about landing an ambush. It's just about Albrecht not realizing where my army is. If we do manage to hit the coin flip and stay hidden against Bretonia's armies, he may make a positioning error. Would be pretty neat.
Sartosa's most
You're
infamous.
not doing anything right now. Do I bother repairing this stuff? Because it's going to be expensive and he might just turn around and destroy it. I think I do not bother. And I think we need vision over here. Len is still exhausted from successfully assassinating someone, so no abilities, just, yeah, keep an eye on the area. Let's see if there are any more reinforcements incoming. And let's see what happens. I'm definitely worried about having to take on both of these stacks at the same time. I think it would... Oh, wow. Okay, Hexawaddle is sailing across the ocean just to attack me because they have no other problems in their lives.
Let us hope what you have to
That's a little bit of a problem.
see, Father.
Ikit, what's up? You want me to join a war that no, thank you. I don't want to do that. So you are at war with the Khemri. You're not at war... And you're at war with Hexawaddle. You're not at war with these... with these Bretonians, though. I think that's okay. Ugh, I really wish his forces weren't scattered over such a large area. They're just swapping castles. Very strange. Yeah, what I would like to do is request that some Skaven armies come down here and help me just hold one of the sides. But... I'm worried with him not actually having any reasonable sized armies in the area. It'll end up just being a waste of allegiance that we won't actually get anything out of to even ask. Oh, did we move Wendy that turn? We didn't, did we? Oh. Decisive victory with casualties low. Then why would you make this attack? I don't really agree. I think this is an error in the auto-resolver. I'm going to take it, to be clear. But I don't think that should be a decisive victory. That looks like actually kind of a hard battle. Yeah, we'll take the money. Wow, they brought us a lot of gold on that one. Okay, that's really great news. Because if Pete can knock out Vulture Mountain, that's like basically all of their real recruitment buildings. And that's going to make this side much, much easier. I will say I really don't understand how that was supposed to be such an easy battle.
Darkness comes.
The game has a lot of respect for this, like, this combined force. So, let's grab... We can improve Tide Call. Once it's upgraded, it does a little bit more damage. It's definitely interesting. What is Fog of the Damned? Leadership and melee attack reduction in a pretty large area. When overcasted, the melee attack reduction is much larger. Honestly, that's not a terrible spell. Yeah, let's grab both points of that. And also, we may as well take, it is just free damage. All right, so next level we can grab Evasion. And then we can head on to the big spells, the more fun spells.
Serve for eternity. Cleanse them of life.
And yeah, we gotta take Vulture Mountain now while it's undefended. This is mine. Thank you. Secures the province.
Undead raiders.
Comes with some recruitment structures. I'm actually gonna burn both of these, I think. We want to use these slots for other things early on. We can definitely afford to repair these structures now. I don't think there's any real chance of them getting destroyed again. Grab evasion. So the top box for spellcasters always contains 2 much more impressive spells, and then also the ability to improve your casting a little bit. What we're really headed toward is Arcane Conduit, which is just whenever you are recharging mana, you are recharging more. More spells per battle, more spells per second. It's just very, very strong. And at this point,
I will listen out of courtesy.
yeah, she just has these 3 settlements. The Sorcerer's Islands is only economic stuff. We don't know exactly what's in the Great Desert. But yeah, if we ride down and we take the Wizard Caliph's palace, she will actually be out of recruitment structures.
A done deal.
All right, they didn't try anything here. What's in the raised Deadpool right now? So some more deck gunners. If we wanted to get deck gunners, we got some Mourngoals. Yeah, I'm like pretty back and forth on whether I think these deck droppers are going to do anything for us. Maybe we should just replace them with more deck gunners, honestly. I'm going to hold on to the composition for the moment. And I'm thinking maybe at this point we step just outside the city.
This is forbidden.
Because I kind of need this to get resolved in some way relatively soon. Right? We're about to, Jesus, it takes 4 turns to construct the basic garrison building. We're going to need to turn Aranessa's army around, is the thing.
Address me as Sir Lord.
Yeah, so if we can get the momentum broken over here, it would definitely make my life a lot easier.
Fear the pirate queen.
The question is just like, if I step outside, I go into ambush mode to try to trick them, they see through the ambush, and they 40v40 me on the sand outside of Alhaik, do we just lose that battle?
My servant fails me.
And I honestly don't know. I don't feel confident about it, that's for sure. There's enough good units in these forces
This is forbidden.
that I could see it being a real problem. And Len can't really do anything to hinder. Yeah, all he can do is reduce the rate at which they heal, which is like, that's extremely whatever. It doesn't affect the upcoming battle at all. All right, I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna try stepping. Is there a spot in this like little scrub grass? No, nothing gives us increased chance to hide. I'm gonna try hiding to the side out here. What I want is for our reinforcements not to come in from like directly behind where our initial army sets up. If it does in fact end up being just, you know, just stacks fighting stacks here. And then like we should have you do something just to get XP. 43%. Yeah, let's break some stuff. Let's I don't know, damage that building. Okay. Failure is still experience. So I would love to upgrade the Kofur Harbor. I'm just a little worried that we're not going to be able to hold on to Kofur, you know, long enough for that to complete. This isn't that much gold to risk. If they don't decide to go to Kofur right away, it might end up being worthwhile. Virus has a little bit more defense. Oof. Yeah. I guess let's go ahead and pursue the upgrade. Well, no, hold on. Sorry. I don't want to spend the spare population because we'd much rather upgrade Alhaik in the near future. Yeah, and Pete's got to finish off her puns before she can get back on her feet again. All right, let's see how it goes. Oh, right, we get a commandment. Probably the normal one.
Too hot.
I really do hate this, like, random player declares war on you from across the entire world and then they actually send troops thing. Oh, cool. Like, a lot of troops. That's fun. Man, okay. We got to negotiate peace with them. That's really annoying. Winning battles against them is still going to be granting us infamy. Like, it technically is still contributing to our goals. Did they? They did. They saw through my ambush immediately. Okay. Well, I mean, we have to do it, right? We have to... They're going to give us a valiant defeat on the auto-resolve, so... Yeah, we had to break the pressure in one direction or the other, I think. Unfortunately, I don't think I have time to tack this battle, which is going to be really big, onto a 45-minute episode already. So I think we're going to call it right here for now. That's going to be it for us for today. Thank you all so much for watching. And when you return next time, we will be desperately trying to hold back this massive skeleton army so that if we win, we can have our survivors limp over into battle against the massive lizard man army. It feels like a goddamn nightmare. And we'll see you then.